Step 1 is to mix and knead the dough. You can do this by hand mixer or machine. Of course, the hand mixer and the machine make your life way more easy. By hand, you need to have the right technique, which contains a mixing and a slap and fold technique. Keep in mind that this is the very beginning, so the dough will of course be sticky, which is totally normal. It's not really a dough yet, it's a water flour mix at this point. When you use a hand mixer or machine, make sure that you go for the slowest mode for the first 5 minutes, so the gluten has enough time to build it up. If you go too fast, you might crush the gluten structure, and this is not what we want, and could even damage the whole dough. So going slowly first, and then for the last minute you can speed up. By hand, we mix it all together. We can use a spoon or a scraper, and then we strengthen the gluten structure by the slap and fold technique. It's good if you're doing this for the first time to just watch the technique and adjust your hand movements, because it needs a little bit of coordination. At this point, the dough is very young, so you cannot make anything wrong. Be energetic, don't be too gentle. It really needs to be stretched and folded at this time, so don't worry about damaging anything. Start with millis and add 340 milliliters of water, which is 11.5 fluid ounces or 1.4 cups. Water is the key player and has a direct effect on the dough and the bread results, so try to be as accurate as possible. This is the knead by hand version now. To mix, use a spoon or a scraper and mix until all flour is dissolved by water. This might take around 3 minutes. And keep on mixing, so even the flour that is on the bottom, try to mix it in. Now wet the working surface to avoid sticking. At this point, the flour isn't mixed homogeneously, as you see those flour powder spots, and we will fix that now and build a stretchy dough. Therefore, we use the stretch and fold technique. But how does it work? First, we spread out the dough on the surface, grab one part, like mostly upper third, pull it up, stretch it, and fold over. Take one end, stretch up and fold over. Pull up, slap and fold over. And the slap is to make the dough sticking to the surface so we can make a good stretch. So take one end, slap on the surface, stretch it and fold over. So it's really about the stretch. The slap is again really just to make it stick so we can stretch it. At this point, the dough is very young, so you cannot really make anything wrong. You can really slap it or multiple slap it to really have it sticking, and then stretch it all out as much as possible. Be energetic, don't be shy, and fold over. We make this whole process for a minimum 5 minutes. This is what it takes to build some gluten structure. Less won't lead to a good dough result. You can take a piece of dough, roll it around, and stretch it out. And if the dough doesn't break early, it's fine at this level. So we can cover it up and send the dough to rest for 30 to 45 minutes. The hand mixer and machine are way easier and they do a good job on the dough. Go for the slowest speed for 5 minutes to really knead the dough, and then you can speed up a little bit. You see here the dough is very homogeneous, so all the flour is dissolved in the dough and it's very stretchy. Same with the machine, slowest mode for minimum 5 minutes. And then check the dough is stretchy enough. Cover up and send to rest. Common mistakes, what can go wrong, how does it look like, and how can you solve it? Using too little water, which will result in a denser, harder crumb, or too much water, so the gluten structure might be unstable, the dough flattens out, which means a flat bread and little expansion. Solve by using the correct amount of water. The dough is not stretchy. This often happens when the kneading process was stopped too early.